Are you a starseed and an old soul who's constantly questioning if you're on your path and fulfilling your Earth mission? Watch this video to know how to align to your highest path.
The universe is really emboldened within each one of us, that the entirety of the cosmos is accessible through each and every individual's mind, connecting to the great mind, the great spirit.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Nick the Mystic, a cosmic being here on an Earth mission to help remind you of who you truly are. So today's topic, am I on the right path? If this could be the most loaded question for every soul who enters this Earth game experience, this would be it. Since the freaking womb, I kid you not, I've been trying to understand, why am I here? What is it that I came here to do? Who is it I came here to be? I've always been wanting to know the mission. What is the mission? Who is it that I came here to grow into so I can help planet Earth? And I know, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying this, I know so many of you have been in deep discovery of trying to find your path, what it is that you wanted to experience, the gifts that you came to bring to the world, the magic that you came to birth into this earth plane, to uplift and raise the consciousness of humanity. What is that energy I came to bring? What is that essence? What are the teachings? What are the feelings? And because our society has been so indoctrinated and so left brain focused, so analytically, logically dominated, it's kind of a mindfuck to try and figure out your soul's mission. This is where I'm gonna help you to get out of your mind and into your heart. And I'm gonna start with some spoiler alerts. Spoiler alert number 1, you're always on your path. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on it. You wouldn't be where you are, exactly where you are, which is the path. The path is where you are. You are on your path always because you're on it. If you weren't meant to be on it, you wouldn't be on it. Let's just breathe with that one. If you weren't meant to be where you were, you wouldn't be where you are. There's more to that, and I'll come back to that. You're gonna be like, but wait, if I'm on my path, but my path feels like shit, and that's what I wanted, like, how do I reorganize this? We're gonna get to that in a second. Hang tight. Spoiler alert number 2, you can't get it wrong and you can't fuck it up. We are not being graded. We are being initiated into who we were meant to be. We think that every action, every step, we're being graded by this all-condemning energy of righteousness, of this is right, this is wrong. But no one's grading us. There is no all-condemning God. So often we have so many subconscious fears running the show, telling us, this is the right way to do this. This is the good way to do this. This is the only way to do this. It needs to look this way. It needs to look that way. It needs to sound this way. I need to feel like this. These conditions need to be perfect. I need to have X, Y, and Z in order before X, Y, and Z can happen. And it's like, let's scratch all of that because those are just things that we made up. No one made the rule of those things. No one said that this is straight up capital T truth. No one. The more we can integrate and embody the belief system that I can't fuck it up, you will be invincible because you no longer have barriers blocking you and stopping you from being who you came here to be. It's just source energy running through you because it knows that you are here to create. And it is through those creations that we integrate these belief systems. Here's a crazy story for you, and this is just coming up to share. It was about, I want to say, less than a year ago. I was painting my room. My mom was helping me paint it. We were painting it white. We were up-leveling it. We were just brightening it up. And I realized I had a fear of painting. And so the whole day I was like avoiding it, or I was like doing the small tasks or anything that didn't have anything revolved around actually painting the wall. And I was like, why do I have this aversion to painting a wall? And it was this deep rooted belief system of being afraid to mess it up. Like this existential belief system that was so terrified to get it wrong. And the moment I realized that, I was like, holy shit, I'm afraid to paint a white wall. You literally cannot mess up a white wall. Like, it is the simplest thing that you can do. But that was the subconscious belief system that was running the show. And as soon as I realized that, I brought in the energy of my little Nikki, of my inner child, and the whole time, I allowed it to be a process of integrating my own safety and making mistakes and messing it up. What if I get paint on the carpet? Or what if the lines don't match up? Or what if I get a little bit too thick of paint over here? Just silly things, right? But in that moment, it was very real. And so in that moment, when I acknowledged it and I worked through it, I was able to like move beyond it and then realize it was so much simpler than I ever thought. And then from there, I then began looking at all the areas I'm afraid to mess up in life and how that's holding me back. It's not the conditions that are holding us back in life. It's our perception of what we make those conditions to mean. And somewhere along those lines, those conditions are serving as blocks to our own blossoming. We're using them as subconscious excuses to not actually get down to the root of whatever that fear may be. So if you knew that you couldn't mess it up, if you knew that you couldn't get it wrong, what would you do? How would you show up? What's the energy that you would emulate? Because when you know that everything is perfect because it is, because the divine is in all things, it's a lot easier living from that space. So if we know that we're always on our path because we're on it, and if we know that we can't get it wrong and we can't mess it up, how do we reorganize the energy to now create the highest aligned path? Simplest way of answering that is knowing how you learn. Do you learn more through pain or do you learn more through pleasure? The answer to the majority of those people is going to be pain. Humans, in order to ascend into a higher consciousness, we need to have harsh, I don't want to say need and I don't want to say harsh, but based on the way that we've evolved over time as a species, a lot of it comes through pain. A lot of it comes through realizing and seeing and experiencing what does not work. And in order to wake up our souls who've been so collectively conditioned to turn off the truth of who you are, the truth of really what is, it is the pain that rocks the boat, that shakes up the energy that's stuck inside of you and is like, it's time to see. That is a main mode of how we have learned. The opposite of that is pleasure. We can learn through sensations. We can learn through positive feelings. We can learn through feeling good in our body and in our thoughts. We can learn through sensory reception. We can learn by activating things within our body, our mind, our energy field, and doing it in a way that it feels really good, that it's in alignment with those higher belief systems that we are integrating. But this is something that it takes time to learn how to do because it's been so opposite for so many of us. So if you can acknowledge that you're someone who's learned mostly through pain, make the decision now that you don't have to go to the depths of despair time and time again, sinking in the tides of life in order to come back from your own drowning. Decide that you no longer have to learn in those ways. That's number one. Number two is acknowledge the poking before it becomes a much harder poke. Meaning, when something is poking at you, let's say there's a trigger coming up in your life and in your reality, look at it in the moment, because that is the moment where that energy is coming up to be cleared. But when we dismiss it, when we don't listen, when we push it down or brush it under the rug, it's gonna blow up in a higher way because you're not listening. So number two is to listen. When these triggers or these wounds or these uncomfortable feelings come up, what is it that is wanting to be alchemized in the moment? What is it that is wanting to be rewritten? And the sooner you can start to tune into those subtle nuances of just the little love taps versus the other kind of love taps, you're actually going to stop the negative momentum of the shit shows that you're creating in your life. And again, when we can realize that we are the creator of our reality, we can take ownership of our vibration and of our feelings, so we can simply shift our vibration and our feelings. We're never gonna grow if we keep beating ourselves up. So it's not about, what am I doing to create this, blah, blah, blah. It's, I created that. Okay, first comes the acknowledgement. What in me was a vibrational match to that thing? Or what is the lesson that my soul is wanting me to learn right now? Once you can do that, you can switch the state from which you're operating from. And then as you become more practiced in releasing needing to learn from pain and start coming home to your body through breath work and somatic practices, you can begin to rewire your body's responses, any aversions that you may feel to discomfort or fear or pain or deconstruction of things that you're experiencing. When we can lessen down the stories on what we're making those things to be, and we can see it as an opportunity to create something different, that's when you take back your power. So pain is simply an indicator that something is out of alignment with the source that is you. It's just feedback that there's a correction that can be made. So when we see pain as feedback versus, oh, I deserve this, or I must have been bad and wrong to make this happen, and we just see it as an indicator, we just know that whatever it is that we're feeling, whatever it is that we're perceiving is not in alignment with the truth of who we are. Because if it was, it wouldn't feel so painful. What if you letting go of the pain was so much easier than you thought? Pain is so much easier to let go when we just loosen the grip of what we're holding on to. What is that pain giving you? What are you getting from the story that you're telling about that pain? For some of us, it's attention. For some of us, it's validation of what we experienced. For some of us, it's just completely unexpressed feelings that we get to express. But when we can let go of what it is that we're actually getting from the pain, you realize you actually don't need to hold on to it any longer. And when you can make that decision and when you can make that shift, you can realize that you can create a life from pleasure. You can create a life from abundance. You can create life from love. So the way that you know that you're on your path is how good it feels. Again, you're always on your path, but you want to create from your highest path. You want to create from your highest timelines. You want to create from your highest self energy. And the way that we do that is by knowing what feels good and what doesn't feel good, and choosing to partake in the things that do make us feel good, that do generate a higher energy. And when we can begin to get into those higher vibrations, that's where the downloads will come in. That's where the answers will come in of the energy that you get to bring to the world. It's not so much about a specific vocation or a specific way of doing something. While yes, those can be the mediums and the platforms with which you get to share, it's so much more fluid than what society brings it out to be. It's the things that bring you the most joy, the things that radiate your truest heart's desires, the things that get you giddy and excited and light you up. Imagine a world if we were all lit up doing what we were passionate about. That is where money is generated from. People think you have to do a certain thing to make money. Money goes where your energy is the highest, period. So if you're in love doing what it is that you're doing, money has to flow because you're in the resonance of where abundance can match. So let go of any ideas of it needing to look a certain way or be a certain way or getting too tied up in the mental constructs of the logistics, and just tap into your heart. Tap into your heart. Your heart has all the answers. We think our brain tells us everything. Our brain is just a very small percentage of where our answers come from. It's more of the processor versus the receiver, so to speak. It is the feeling, the electromagnetic field in your chest that brings you the answers, that generates the possibilities. So ask yourself what it is that lights you up the most, where you feel most yourself, most expansive, most expressive, most free to be you. And those are your clues that you are on your highest aligned path. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped. Let me know key takeaways you got from this and any of your heart's desires that you want to bring out into the world, and allow yourself to make a claim to the universe through your comments saying, this is what I desire, and I don't have to know the how, I don't have to know the logistics, but I know that my energy and my soul is leading me to this. So comment below, and if you guys like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and be sure to stay tuned for more videos like this. Here's a... That is being edited. That is a lie. I take that back.